Good night, good night, good night. And you're back here with Ocey Phillips. And today we're going to jump into something that's called what is e-commerce merchandising. So there's a lot of talk about e-commerce for the last couple of months, years, even though. And a lot of people don't realize there's so much moving parts when it comes to e-commerce, right? So this part we're going to talk about e-commerce merchandising, right? And some people really say it's a science and an art, but the goal is really to boost sales by connecting shoppers with the right products. So for those of you who go into groceries, there's people like Hadco and Amco and all these other companies, distributor companies that has merchandisers in these groceries that are there packing the shelves with their product and their brand, making sure that's listed and positioned properly, right? But a lot of people need to understand that the main function of e-commerce merchandising is really guiding users through the customer journey. And a lot of people just talk customer journey as a hey, it's moving from point A to B, but no. But how do you guide them not just through uh, a journey, to say, but guide them through the right products, guide them through things that they want, not put them through 10 different pages of stuff that they don't want, right? So compared to physical stores, like the customer journey is more complex when it comes to e-commerce. It's a lot of moving parts, right? Nearly every visitor in a brick and mortar shop would interact with the same visuals, interact with the same smells if you walk into a bakery, right? And associate different things with different senses, right? However, how do you translate that into something digital, right? And at the same time, the different parts that customers could take to enter your site. Some people may come to your site through social media, some people may come to your site through direct link, some may come to your site through one product page, some may come to your site through a referral, affiliate marketing, different ways. But how do you always make sure that the merchandising is there at the same standard, the same quality of the experience, right? Right? So this could really help you ensure that every customer who visits the site has a similar experience. And then merchandising ties into our overarching umbrella, which we touched on, which is digital customer experience, right? The sum of the interactions with your brand. And we all know that customers don't really look at experiences digitally or non-digitally, right? They just look at the experience, right? So how they navigate it when you get there. So let's dive into what this definition says. This definition says that e-commerce merchandising is a strategy of organizing, structuring, and standardizing the products and offers on an online website with the purpose of to increase sales. Come on, we all into business here, but the bottom line is we're into business to make money. This is not a charity. How do you do this to increase sales? How do you tailor that experience, right? Structured, standardized, so that the products and offerings on the site could increase sales, right? And this method often includes promotions. How do you pitch promotions and top selling items? How do you increase the search results when somebody search? Do you even have site search, right? Do you even have what is your ratio of filters to facets on your site, right? We'll dive into that into a different video and break down what are the differences between filters and facets, and mainly focusing on the overall needs of customer satisfaction. At the end of the day, every single thing that's needed is done through customer satisfaction, right? So why is this important? It's unprecedented times like than ever before. It's more important to invest in a well-functioning e-commerce site. As I say, if somebody's building a site for you, don't let them build a Tida or a regular Nissan. Build a Tesla that could go on autopilot and people could come on 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and have the same experience while they navigate the site. Same structure, same standardization, same organization, right? And what makes this a game changer is that the mere fact that there's so much competition, right, in the landscape that you need to differentiate yourself, right? And then marketers, this ties back into how you market stuff. Marketers supposed to or tells the story that you are providing a unique shopping experience, right? How unique is this if everybody has the same level of merchandising on the site, right? How are you creating effective and differentiated customer experiences would not only increase your conversion rates, but expand your long lasting brand image and stuff like that. So people are going to say, hey, this site was really, really easy. Look how I got from A to B to C to D, and in one click, right? It's in my cart and we can move, right? So e-commerce merchandising could also help businesses achieve strategic business goals, right? You could build marketing campaigns on this directly into the site through ads, banners, targeted content. You can tie it to Google AdSense if what you're using AdSense for complements your products and your services, right? And then the importance of this is also the way of displaying products, not just make it look neat and accessible, but important for conversion. I don't know, for those of you who have logged on to some of these online grocery stores, you literally have to go through tens of headers and pages to find a product. It's frustrating. You have to go through every single thing because all they have is a filter that says milk and bread, but you're not able to filter by brand, but you're not able to filter or you're not able to facet by price, right? And you're not able to facet by health. Is it vegan? Is it wheat? Is it like what are the other options there, right? That would cause people to convert, right? It's also important for converting site visitors into paying customers. Right? This gives them that push. This gives them that person who is not in the grocery, they can say, hey, what aisle is bread on? What aisle pasta on? What aisle is my favorite snack on? Right? For me, what aisle is Zuma's on? What aisle, you know, for those who can't find their snacks or find their way around, or for like me, I get flustered every single time I go to the grocery, right? So important with this is a call to action, strategically placed, or reminders for stuff like abandoned carts, right? So when you leave your cart or you go in through or you guide somebody through different channels through your site, then you see where they go, you tag into the metadata and you see where they go. And then, of course, you use reorder buttons, you use retargeting, and then you resell or you try to upsell these customers here. Right? And this could also influence buying habits because strategically you could place your website in such a way that, you know, those little chocolates and that the caramel and the chewing gum right by the cashier that makes you impulse buy, that could also be translated to online once you do your merchandising correctly, right? So we all know groceries are layered. The psychology behind that is it's how it's laid out so that people to walk through the aisles, right? And they see and they buy. And that's why things are positioned next to different things. However, depend on what e-commerce you are on or you're doing, what vertical you're in, you may need stuff like a little bit more consultative in your retail if you're selling hardware, stuff like that. Somebody may not be able to just come directly, but they may have questions, right? How do you guide these people with enough information for them to make a purchase without having to contact you directly, right? And then it could entice customers, it could help the business display a variety of products, it could generate website traffic once the right SEO is done, because it needs to tie into your SEO strategy again. How do you bring the right people, right, who are looking for the type of merchandising that you're doing for the product that you're doing, right? And you could promote certain products, you could promote seasonal things, you could bundle things with other things. And most importantly, you are able to convert browsers into shoppers, convert people who are just scanning into buyers. Right? Why e-commerce merchandising matters, right? Merchandising helps you take control of how your brand is perceived and how visitors shop, while also driving brand engagement and awareness. I mean, you're killing four birds with one stone. How your brand is perceived, how people shop, while also driving engagement and awareness. Right? Merchandising is a key part of your comprehensive sales strategy. And a lot of people still think that selling on digital is something that's traditional where you need to have a sales team. No, the technology does the work for you. And this is essentially part of your sales, right? And help you drive more revenue, right? So what a lot of people don't understand is there are some elements, right? So you can merchandise on your homepage, right? You could start from even your company's mission statement or goal. You could look at images or popular product services, um, links to your about us section, option for users to sign in and learn more if you have that portal, details of promotional offers, or plenty call to actions to encourage people to make a purchase just on the homepage. You can list your top selling items, bestsellers, so that people know, hey, before they even dive into the site, these are what our top people are buying. And here's why, right? Number two could be product pages, right? When a customer is looking for a particular item on Google, if your site is SEO optimized for product, then it should appear there, right? And we spoke about that in other videos where we talk about micro moments and zero moments of truth. When people go to Google and they type in something, is your site being found for that, right? We're talking about, are you optimizing your images, right? How is your product descriptions? Because product descriptions help with SEO. Because not everybody will be able to type your product in with the correct spelling or anything else, but they may type in a description, right? Product videos, how do you show up across different things? YouTube is a search engine now. What are you looking at? How are you going to show up in different forms? So images, to blogs, so different types of content, right? Cross-selling products, even product colors. People look for specific colors, right? Apart from all the other call to actions, right? How do you do category-based merchandising? Right? It's a great way to highlight product lines that you want to draw attention to. So categories, things that fall into similar categories, right? Self-cleaning water bottles, outdoor camping sections, right? Or shoes and everything that goes with shoes. Or wine and cheese. There's a whole date. Or wine, cheese, and some sort of movie special that you have bundled, right? So a lot of things matter when it comes to your merchandising, and it takes some thought to put into, right? The differences between traditional merchandising and e-commerce merchandising, right? So let's dive into this a little bit here now. Now, you see, the selling space online is a little bit limited because you don't want to put too much on a website and it's too wordy and it's not optimized for SEO. But then you also don't want to bore the people that come in, right? But on the other hand, you don't have to show the same products to people. That's the other thing. However, are you going as far as having your geo-targeting done? Let's just say you go on Craigslist. You don't just go, if you're outside of the US, you don't go and click where you want to view Craigslist. It takes your IP address and it automatically shows you the closest Craigslist to you. And that falls under geo-targeting. Are you doing that for cross-border e-commerce? If you're selling something in Jamaica or Barbados, how are you doing that? Right? And showing the right things with the right pricing, with the right discounts, with the right costing. Because $10 may be something in Trinidad, but Jamaica it may cost $19. Because that $9 is for shipping. But do they get that price shown to them when they log on? Or do they have to go through and then purchase and realize, hey, you charge them after, which is a bad customer experience, right? So regardless of the customer's entry route to the store, it should make them display products that are the most relevant to customers. So how are you going to know that? You're going to have to gather data on your customers, right? And although there are many differences, that are also a lot of similarities at the same time between traditional and e-commerce merchandising. Store layout for traditional retailers, as I say, the aisles, the shelving, and different things would work for different types of groceries or different types of businesses, right? And also e-commerce retailers kind of tend to look at it from an ego standpoint. We also want to put this there and people care about us. No. Some people just come to shop, and I've seen stores that just have an about us link in the footer of the website that convert more than people who think that they need all these big and fancy stuff, right? And then traditional companies create a familiarity feeling, right? Somebody come in, they remember your name. Hey, you'll see what's going on, Oh, they remember your order, or they remember your favorite order. Hey, I know you like that burger with the cheese and you do like pickles, right? It feels that kind of way when you go into a store and people remember you, and that personalization aspect of it, right? So customers would kind of recognize that we keep going back to the store because we feel at home, right? We feel kind of close. How do you translate that to digital, right? By taking metadata and seeing where people come from and make sure that the same IP addresses are targeted with similar things, right? So there are ways to do all of this, right? So there's no physical limits to online, but you just have to strategically place the information because you know what people getting lost, right? And then how you brand it is critical online, right? Traditional people use things like lighting, paint colors, music. There's stuff to do with music, the color psychology in the actual physical paint, which of course you could translate to online, right? But we all know that a website can't provide the exact same similar experience. However, it could come as close to as possible, right? You may not be able to go as far as like sense of smell and that type of things because some businesses do that. Some businesses have a certain smell when you come by the door that would trigger a certain emotion, right? Disney and these huge companies master that, right? But what also you could do is like product grouping, right? Creating kits with different things and try to paint as clear a picture as possible when it comes to how you convey that experience. Because you can't convey the smell through online, but what is the next best thing to do? So both have pros and cons. If you still have a brick and mortar store, you should use both. If you have a only digital store, then you need to definitely dive down a little bit more into that merchandising aspect. So we jump. Both traditional retailers and e-commerce retailers follow a set of best practices when they design the store layouts, right? Most offline and online store layouts have to encourage maximum sales while remaining accessible, right? So here's like there's a couple of things that I think that people could use to improve, right? Your homepage should promote your highest converting products, right? It should promote current trending products. So highest converting ones, bestsellers. Amazon does it. Look at this Amazon bestseller. Current trending products. People are buying this now, right? Easy to drop down menus with categories. Highest rated products, right? And it must have a site search bar so that people could just type in something and search, right? Then two, you're looking at group related products. Brand, are you grouping them by brand? Are you having a corner for all Apple products or all Samsung products? Product type, you have all phones, you have all cameras next to each other. Color, size, style, features, and then product uses. Those are things that you could use to measure, right? And then how do you cater to your brand with visuals, right? Minimal text, maximum imagery, right? Picture tells 1,000 words, right? Or even videos, so that people can kind of have exact demos of how things work, right? So demo videos are there. Link to social media feeds because you want those breadcrumbs going to and fro so that people still feel connected across the ecosystem, and no matter where they jump on to your site from, that same merchandising, that same experience should be the same, right? High quality product photos. You can go anywhere. YouTube, TikTok has a huge section of people that teaching you how to do product photos. There's a cool one that shows people how to turn your phone upside down and put it in a certain mode, and you get better quality pictures. There are apps that you could get those things done, right? Use data in order to adapt to customers. A lot of people don't realize, and they still think, hey, I just typed something and look, it's showing up in my social media feed, right? That metadata, which you probably didn't even realize that you opted into, because you just saw a long agreement and you just click and agree. Most people share metadata, right? It's not that it's targeting you the same way that you look to put out ads. really is that your ads target people in certain groups of metadata, and your ads will show to them. However, when you search for something that triggers something internally, and then those ads are then shown to you. Right? So what data are you using to target customers or to adapt to them? If your target group starts to look at different types of products, all right, then you know that you can maybe offer one or two different products, right? Then you need to offer personalized product recommendations, right? We just say a potential customer browsing your site, right? Looking for a hat. You find a hat that they like. Click on the product page, right? Which includes pictures and a description. Below there's an image showing, hey, similar products. Maybe a hat and a shades, maybe a hat and a belt. Right? Maybe a hat with different types of hairstyles, maybe a hat and a shirt. Right? What products complement what you sell that you can then show them in that product page? When they click that page and they go to that product page, how does it show up? Right? And then they add it to the cart too, and all of a sudden they have a hat, of glasses, and a shirt, and the average order value went from $100 to $300 or $275, right? And then last but not least, you also have to ensure that your website navigation is smooth. This is one of the greatest things that you can have. Make sure that it is smooth, it's seamless, and it's not difficult to navigate. Right? So let's break it up. Brick and mortar. When they standardize stores, companies create a feeling of familiarity. You understand? This is a fixed brick and mortar store. 5,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet. There's only so much that they could do. There's only so much changes that they could do. Right? So returning customers instantly feel at home, and they use visual cues to find the products that they're looking for. Even if they change the layout. Right? I don't know about a lot of people, but only when I'm lost in the grocery, I look up and I see this is the aisle for bread and milk and whatever, and this is that aisle. Right? I don't really look at it before. I just go through. Right? So standardized layout is something. Right? So for e-commerce, online businesses don't use a physical floor plan, right? But they do organize sites into a site map, right? Or wireframes, and they see how people will traverse, right? And sub-departments. Now, what you could have is banners, pop-up windows, right? Clip strips, highlights, special offers. Jump at people in different stages when they move along the site. You understand? So all of these are things that you can add to your merchandising. Product grouping. Have you ever gone to the store for milk and bread and come out with more than you bargained for? Maybe you saw steak, potatoes, and wine on a lane and thought, oh, you know what, I could make a surf and turf tonight, or I could make a pasta tonight. Right? How do you translate that to online? Product grouping, right? There you go. Woven electronics, laptops promote headphone sales, and smartphones never leave without a case. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people, there's this one story about a guy in New York, and he has grossed $3 million a year by just selling phone cases outside of an Apple store. Right? Because I think that Apple store was not selling cases. Right? And it's mind-blowing. So you need to understand, if laptop promote headphone sales, because when you go on a laptop, what do? You use a headphone, right? However, the visual merchandisers plan product groups and plan cross-selling techniques to help increase revenue across the store. However, it may be more tedious for them to change that from a store standpoint. However, how do you do it in e-commerce? Remember, you're unbound by physical constraints now of concrete and steel and a shelf. Yeah? So you can innovate when grouping products, given limited space, given physical shop space products on a single lane. They have limited real estate in store. You can duplicate it, and almost any e-commerce product you're using will give you unlimited SKUs. Right? So you could duplicate the amount of products that you have or seek or shown or bundled in different places. Right? So personalization. How do you do that? Personalization isn't new. It's been around as long as brick and mortar store, just like people used to do it. And that's why they try to bring in stuff like loyalty cards, so that when they come back, they know who you are and they try to give you something for less to make you feel welcome. Right? Retailers who know their customers individually, like I said before, and familiarize themselves with their customer base, do better on the high street. When customers feel appreciated, they develop a loyalty. It happens when you go by and somebody says, "Hey, we'll see Keston," and they say different names and they address you by your first name. "Man, what are you doing? You're here for this?" Or "Last time you bought this, I'm sure you need that." Like, it blows your mind when you go into a store and somebody knows what you want before you even have to ask. You're like, wow, that person is paying attention. Even though they have 10,000 people coming through the door, you feel special. Right? So personalization. In brick and mortar retail stores, personalized shopping experiences begin when business owners build relationships with customers. "Hey, good morning, Mr. Jones. How are you, son? See him play football over the weekend? Or did he go off to university? What he did in CXC?" That kind of thing. "Would you like more of that fudge you bought last week? Would you like this? Would you like that? Hey, try this. You try the fudge? Hey, try the mango this time. Or you try the mango, try the apple this time." Right? So, because e-commerce, you don't really come face to face with customers, but you can still offer them personalized shopping, from cookies to abandoned cart or automation, personalization tactics that eliminate barriers to purchase and boost revenue. Right? So there are two types of cookies: cookies that just measure the session for you on the site, and then cookies that follow you on other sites. Right? Abandoned cart automation. When you abandon a cart, you get an email reminder. It says, "Hey, you have these things in your cart. You sure you don't want to buy?" Or price drops. You say, "All right, cool. These things in your cart will $100 here now on sale for 95." Right? Or personalization tactics. People who bought these shoes also bought socks. "Hey, you bought shoes. Look at what we have to offer you on a sale," right? So there's always a different way to do it digitally. All right. However, digital, you could do it at scale, but you could automate it that it could be done even while you're sleeping. Okay. So, as I say, there's different elements of it: homepage merchandising, product pages, category-based merchandising, getting personal recommendations, people when you get their metadata, keeping it simple, photography and copy with a voice or captions with a voice that speaks to the customer, and product recommendation tools. There are multiple product recommendation tools that you could use. You just need to find one that fits your budget, right? So we're looking at it here now. Things that would increase your sale before we close. People need to remember that mobile is extremely important. You need to optimize for mobile. Everything that you're doing now needs to be optimized for somebody who's accessing it on a cell phone. There are different strategies, there are different software that's out that allows you to specifically target mobile. Right? Personal product recommendations for people, that helps. Right? User-generated content. People usually like to research. It starts all over the world about people who like to research and gather things, gather information before they buy. Are they going to research you, or are they going to research somebody else? But if they research somebody else and somebody else educates them, then 9 out of 10 times they're going to buy it there. Right? Visual merchandising. How do you going to display a product? Meaning that, are you uploading your products not only on your website but in Google Business for that localized search? Right? And then you need to optimize your SEO, right? Because a lot of people go on Google for how to do this, how to get this to fix this problem, how to get a clean shoe, right? Let's just use that example. How to get a clean shoe, but then ideally the thing to clean that shoe is a product. So where does your product show up, right? That's what SEO is. And then being unique, right? It's good to do stuff like A/B testing, test 2 pages, see what your customers like. Because there's a big problem. People sit and think, "Hey, I made this and my customer will like that," but you're not thinking like the average customer, right? Plus, you have different types of customers, different types of shoppers, right? So the truth is, profitable businesses use a mixture of e-commerce merchandising tactics to achieve results online, right? The websites are attractive and easy to navigate, and are constructed in a familiar way that consumers know how to find products. Well executed homepage, product page, category merchandising techniques increases average order value and enhance customer loyalty. Are you merchandising? If not, let's chat. Right? So, guys, that brings you to the end of our e-commerce merchandising, not series, but talk. I hope this all added some value. On the back of this, there would be a blog where you could break down all the other parts of it and you could see it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and I hope that you guys stick around for some more content. Peace.